Good morning. It's the Wall Street Weekly Wrap Up with your host, John Newquist, October 26, 2024. And a week of earnings, week of news, and let's start out with some of our favorite stocks with some news because we have Taiwan Semiconductor, the Arizona plant. Wow. Yielding better than the Taiwan plant. You wouldn't think it. The talent, the experience is in Taiwan, and this plant doing better. Now, I don't know how much they're yielding, I don't know how much they're producing. But that's a good sign. And that tells me they're getting better. And rumors of Foxconn coming in to take off some of the NVDA work, I don't think so. But you got to remember, there's a lot of people short. They're getting killed on NVIDIA. New high. New high. Did I say that? It's a brand new high. And look at it. Broke through the trend mark, and NVIDIA's up there. And all these people that bought it, in the low at $100. Let's say we just did 100. They've killed the shorts. There are people that are kicking themselves. These hedge fund managers are behind the NASDAQ or S&P, whatever they're using as a benchmark, and they're not in NVIDIA, which is the best stock this year. Whew! We're on fire. The market, NASDAQ, pretty amazing. And S&P was the high for several months. Now this NASDAQ. And we're heavy on NASDAQ. I hate to say we're a little too much overweighted on it, but good stocks are in the NASDAQ. Good growth is in the NASDAQ. And the Dow, 11%. Of course, it's down lower because we got a couple dogs in the Dow. Woof, woof, woof. And they have taken it down. I can't tell you about Boeing and a couple of these other ones. They just doesn't, you're like, oh, let's kick them out. And again, they should have bought my advice 5 years ago when I told them put NVIDIA instead of IBM. But the Qs, look at this. We're at this big moment of the Qs where, it's up there, 500. We're at 495, 5 points away to break that streak and go higher. And, of course, the Qs are heartburn. You go up and down, sharp ups and down, jagged ones, and, you got to be tough. Again, we're always going to put it up here. By January 20th, we expect a SPY correction of at least 5% from the day we broadcasted a month ago. A week ago. The indicators, interest rates get cut, and guess what? They're going over 4 again. This is scaring people. They've got a lot of theories about it. Woo! A little bit of debt, a little bit of subtle inflation. I heard all the theories, but it shouldn't go up. You cut the rates, it should go down to match the rate. Oil back up to 71, and natural gas, wow. Are we expecting a cold winter or what? Wow, that's a lot.
This is a reminder. How good NVIDIA is a stock.
Lexa, stop. We know how good NVIDIA is a stock. We own it.
This is a reminder.
Lexa, stop.
How good?
We know about NVIDIA. It's good stock. You're a little late. Got to be on better timing. Gold, 2,700. We're going to say 3,000. A year from now, it'll be 3,000. It'll be up another 10%. Remember, all we're looking at is 8% on the S&P 500. And silver, $33. Yeah, it came down a little bit. It was 35. 2-year note, I just put up the chart. Look at this thing. This thing kind of up and going down. And boy, I tell you what, you got to have stomach to be buying the currencies. It's got to have stomach to buy the notes. And I'm not a fan of either one of them. Fixed income is not what my prerogative is. Stocks with growth. Novo Nordisk come out this week. Oh, we can reduce Alzheimer. I'm a fan of the MIND diet. Prevention, delay, or prevent, according to a study released Thursday. Of course, the news went down because Lilly's been going down, Novo Nordisk has been going down, but you know what? You want to buy. This is your chance to buy. This stock is good. There's a shortage of people that want to get it. They're trying to control it. Nobody wants to pay for it. This is not a bad time to buy. We're going to look at it. One of the stocks we're going to probably buy some more by the end of the year because, it's good. PM, Philip Morris. I got smoke? Yeah, I got tobacco. Zyn, 50 million cans of smokeless, nicotine, tobacco-free pouches. I tried it. God awful. Cool mint felt like I just took a mint blast. You think of any mint pill you've taken and making it 10 times stronger. No tobacco, no cancer. We don't know what else to get in there. 530. This thing went up 10 times in sales. That's pretty amazing. And of course, it beats on the revenue, making money, Dividend is 8%. Whoo, that's not a bad stock. And look at the stock as we've been in. It's been going up. Of course, this is kind of like a jagged one. But the big thing, we got a wedge, and it broke out of the wedge. That's a positive sign. And again, upside guidance. Now, I just checked in. I was checking with Philip Morris. Like, how much is these tobacco-free or smoke-free products? They don't use the word tobacco in their whole thing. You would think they never made tobacco. But it's, you know, a lot. 2 to 3% driven by smoke-free products. So total volume shipment, small right now. You know, again, the money is in cigarettes to other countries. General Motors, I watch it because I thought they did pretty good. Look at this. I mean, these charts all kind of look the same. You know, did well. Earnings are good. Revenue went up 10%. That's not bad. That's really good, I think. Upside guidance. Lockheed, look at this chart. But, you know, you got to look at how far is it above this 200-day moving average. Yeah, okay. You know, when it came out with earnings, it went parabolic straight up. And then went up, and then now it's coming down. You know, if we just drew the straight line at the blue line, you know, 520, if it was just growing normally, it would be fine. So don't get excited. You know, I hate to say, you know, you might lose another $40 on it, but that's probably more realistic fair price for it than it is when it was at 620. But it's the stock market, and some people don't know. Upside guidance next year. Earnings are monster. Revenue monster. 2% dividend. 2.2. Not bad. Coca-Cola is one I don't like. Broke through the wedge in a negative way. Revenues negative. Tap, 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 tap. We might think about selling it. Confirms guidance. You know, here's the problem. You go over the Coca-Cola and they want, a 6-pack of Coke, or let's say a case of Coke. They want like $5, $6. And you can get it on sale for maybe a third less, but you know, really a 2-liter bottle at $3.19, $3.29, when the generics are half that price. I don't know. It's tough. You know, I think they priced them out. They kept on raising. Oh, the consumer can pay it. I think the consumer's having trouble now, and you're pushing the market. So, just like Pepsi had it, I think you know, the thing is, Pepsi had a positive quarter for Coke Zero. We'll have to look at it. Again, I look at this chart here. We're still above it. That's our break even. If it goes down to 63, we're done. Get out of it. Take our money and run. Freeport McMoran. Oh, it's a fun name to say. Freeport McMoran. You have to have been in the stock a long time to say it right. And revenues rose. Well, gold's up. Silver's up. 1 billion pounds of copper. 456 ounces of gold times 2,700. So lots of it. Biggest gold production around. And of course they make lithium.
This is a reminder that we don't want Jimmy Dimon to be.
Alexa, stop. I know we don't want Jamie Dimon of J.P. Morgan to be a cabinet secretary. So, all right. NextEra, one of our oldest stocks we own too, besides NVDA. It's notice the ends. Good earnings, 5.5%. Anytime the utility is going up, renewables, more storage and everything else. Framework with agreements to apply some other people. You know, again, these are going to talk about renewables, wind farms around these data centers. They got to get other energy. You just can't build these power plants. So, you know, a nice steady upcline, way above the average. So it's doing good. I mean, it's a solid stock. It hit a new high this year. So we'll be all right. Tesla, you know, GM, 10%, Tesla, 7.8. That's not bad. The rest of them a lot lower. And deliveries up 6%. So, you know what? They are selling cars. They are making cars. Forget about that stupid show that they did with the Robovan and the Optimus, where people were actually behind the Optimus talking to the people. This seems very human-like. It doesn't seem very programmatic. But I thought it was interesting. Energy generation and storage revenue. You know, I don't know how much, or you know, I guess I was here Starlink, Optimus, everything else, but they're doing energy generation, and it's at 2.3 billion. It's not like a little amount. It's not like 230 million or 23 million. This is pretty good. I have to go dig into this area. This is a side of Tesla I didn't see. Of course, a lot of stuff on election and blah blah blah. He talks to Putin, blah blah blah. We'll see. We'll go in there. APGE, phase one, you got to take with a grain of salt, really, because a lot of phase ones do good, don't make it in phase two or phase three. It's a long road. But dermatitis, God, everybody seems to have it sometime in their life with somebody they know or somebody um, they work with. And, the biomarker, so it's working. This new one is pretty good. Stock is at a nice wedge, which will it go? Let's go hope up. But it is going up sideways. It's been sideways. But I think it's a positive one, among other things. Lithium, this little red mark in southern Arkansas, 9 times over the world demand. $93,000 lithium. I just kind of showed, I couldn't get a real-time chart. But look at this. Lithium prices got up to 80,000, went back down to 40,000. Oh, that's a heart attack right there if you're betting lithium commodities. Wow. Well, you know what? We increased the supply 9 times. Guess what's going to go down? The price of lithium. And who's going to benefit? The EV makers. Who's going to buy the cars that are cheaper? EV makers. So there you are. I mean, you talk about maybe getting in an EV maker. It might not be a bad idea for long term if this is indeed true by the U.S. Geological Service. Vertiv, one of our big in plays, like I said, I see Vertiv at the data centers. They're not in every data center. Don't get me wrong. There are other companies. What they do doesn't seem to be proprietary, but it seems to be efficient, and they could put it in very good. I just watched this revenue. I mean, okay. Sales of $2 billion. That's pretty good. That's a good thing for any construction company and stuff like that. And look at the records high right now. A lot of people are loving it, so still in it. 3M, I just watch it because this is a big drop for a Dow 30. Revenues fell 23%. That's quite the hike down. And of course, when they came down with earnings, it went down. I mean, anytime you drop 23% from the year before, you got to think, why am I in this stock? Oh, it pays a dividend of 3%. Well, so does Philip Morris, but it's growing. Well, I don't want to buy tobacco stock. Okay, fine. Go buy J.P. Morgan. Go buy Nextera. I mean, there's a lot of stocks that pay 3%, 4% and stuff. Just don't buy something that isn't growing. I mean, I don't know what the plan is, Starbucks, new CEO. Brian is the hot CEO from Chipotle. And when they announce that thing, you can just see a gap. Boy, this guy's going to save it. Downside guide. We don't even know what it's going to be. Downside guidance. We're not going to get good earnings. And it's hanging. It's hanging on with dear life. Way above the average. I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't go down here because, I mean, he's got a lot of talk and he's good. I listen to him. He's good. But they got to execute. I can go to Dunkin' Donuts and get my coffee in, let's say, 1 minute at most, and this place be 5 minutes. They said, well, it takes, people want to. I said, you do the same at Dunkin' Donuts, but I don't know. Something's wrong. Something wrong at Starbucks. And Boeing, another Dow stepchild. It's like, man, revenues fell. What's this?
This is a reminder. Gold did not hit $1,500.
Alexa, stop. What is gold? Gold is not.
This is a reminder.
Alexa, stop.
Gold did not hit $1,500.
Yes, it did. Gold hit $1,500 That's what we bought it at. Don't be telling us. Go get your facts straight. Jeez. I mean, look at it. Gold is going to be 3,000. That's the real number. But it'll take time to return Boeing to his former legacy with the right focus and culture. We can be an iconic. Yeah. Kelly, I'm telling you, lots of pressure on you. I hope you do it. But boy, they just, they can dig out of it. But this is a negative downtrend. Whoo! I don't think I'd be in Boeing. Just me. McDonald's. Oh my God. Another one of the Dow components, a redhead stepchild. Oh, we got E. coli. And 75 people, 1 death. And look at that stock when they announced it. And it's the slivered onions from Taylor Farm. And, Burger King and other companies are putting out, I don't think we're going to sell onions. You're going to be able to buy onions super cheap because the ones that aren't from Taylor Farm are going to sit there and be dumped because nobody wants to buy it. You're going to be saying, could I have a McDonald's cheeseburger without the onions? Well, it's not the same company, not the same supplier, but it doesn't matter. A lot of people are just going to stay away. Chipotle, it was 3 years to get through that, romaine lettuce E. coli thing. What a mess. So uh, there it is. You don't clean the plant, you don't do the stuff, you don't wash the stuff, you don't rinse it. Shouldn't happen. Shouldn't happen. You would think they would blanch the onions and pop them in there and a little bit dull tasting, but I don't know. 314 was the close Tuesday. So what did we close at? 292. Well, there you are. Almost 7 or 8% drop. A lot of people said, "Oh, it'll stop at 250." It was $100 and 215. That's your stop. I don't think it'll go there, but I'm going to see people. Now I went there today. I had to do my research. It was packed. I forgot about in my town free fries Friday. You buy $1, you get a free medium fry, which is a lot. Medium fry is a big fry in this town. They were all packed. What do you call it? It's free fries, right? That tells you there's a fry addiction. There's this path out of all this stuff. We don't have onions. Thank God the potatoes aren't contaminated, because then they would die. Minsky moment. I got to watch Paul Tudor Jones talk about how we're the deadest. I'm a dead hawk. I read the Weimar Republic book. I watched the Russian ruble crisis. I watched, all these other things, dealing with debt, and we don't have a solution. We can't stop the spending, and either we're going to inflate our way out of it, and that's going to cause nightmares, or we're going to collapse, and the currency is going to be worthless. Woo! What are we going to do? I mean, we're on this path, and we can't stop. We have no crisis now, other than a couple of little wars, I want to say, but that's not a big issue. We got to do some stuff about the debt, and nobody wants to touch it. Everybody wants to win it. Everyone wants to promise everything. Oh, it's ugly. So I'm watching this. Where does it break? Something's got to break. They either got to get it under control. I don't know if anybody has political will. Sometimes it's better just to let the thing collapse and everybody be miserable. What would you want to own? Bitcoin, gold, index funds related to gold, things that will go up with the maybe hyperinflation, or if the economy collapses. It's an ugly situation. We have $6 trillion in money market funds. Damn, if your money's worthless, you just wasted all your money. If your $6 trillion is worth $2 trillion in 5 years, you wasted a lot of money. So it's not a joke. It's a big thing, and nobody wants to deal with it. So we just watch it. We've seen the market. It repeats. This week in the 14 sectors, we have the financial XLF. Look at this. Boy, that's a nice chart. Nice slowing slope upwards. Kind of a jagged, not a too big down, but it's going good. Our big two financial stocks are JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley. What I'm looking at is Aon. Oh, my God. This is up 26%. Last quarter up at 20-something percent. That's a big growth. I got to go dig in Aon. Of course, I got Airbnb, I got Uber, and all these other stocks to look at. But Aon, it's going to pay a dividend. I got it. Just popping out these companies. A lot of money. Only real dog in the banks is Wells Fargo. Had a little in there. Visa, MasterCard are good growths, but they're getting a lot of flack. Berkshire I call financial. I'd finally put it in financials because, they do insurance. Insurance to me is financial. So, would Jamie Dimon leave? There's rumors that if a certain person gets president, he might go in there and be a cabinet. I hope not. I understand. He says you need somebody in finance and stuff to run the Treasury. And, he's at that age where he can do it. So.
This is a reminder. NASDAQ hit a new high.
Oh, thank you. I did know that. All right, thanks, Alexa. Stop.
This is a reminder.
Alexa, stop.
NASDAQ hit a new high.
Alexa, stop. Well, she's going to tell me no matter what I say. And Morgan Stanley, our other one, revenue's up 15%. Earnings are good. Beat on revenue. CEO Ted Pick doing well. I'm going to say this company is running solid. Now, I don't like the parabolic jump up from 95, but this slope over here is pretty good. And other than just the last 2 weeks, I like a slow, steady growth. I mean, this nice little blue line, if it gets down to 1.5, that's fine. It's doing well. And the heat map, okay, a lot of reds. What's not red? Microsoft, NVDA, Google, Walmart. Wow, Philip Morris. Wow, look at that Philip Morris. Like, holy smoky, think of the tech stock. Like I said, we're expecting a correction. We don't get October and September both positive. That's a rarity. I mean, I don't even remember the last time it was positive. I'm sure that somebody said, 1996 they were both. Okay, good. But I'm just saying, it's been a while. 5 straight years, we had bad Septembers, and now we're, doing it. It's election, and of course, everybody said by the day of election you would be up double digits by the next November. Well, all these numbers are chunking out, and everybody with these AI and supercomputers analyzing stuff, they know that stuff. So there's a lot to take a look at. The main thing: top stocks, top sectors, growth, 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 because you don't want to buy minus 24% revenue growth. Oh my God, I'd have a heart attack. And with that, we got the big ones coming up next week or so. We got all the big tech stocks, and that will set the market. Then we got NVDA last week in November-ish, some last 2 weeks in November somewhere. It's going to be an interesting quarter. I mean, they've been moving. They've been trying to get in there. These funds are going to finally throw it up and say, we can't beat the index this year. We have. We're way above it. Because we look at the stocks that have done well. It's been good. So with that, let's have a good week. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you next week. Thank you.